Hi, this is a Technology RideCast, and I'm Marc Farley. Our special guest today is Nick Howell, otherwise known on Twitter as the Data Center Dude. How you doing, Nick?
Well, I've got my sunglasses on and my hat on. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. Let's go for a ride.
So, I see that you are doing something new and different. Orbital Jigsaw. What? Yeah, so tell us about it.
So when you clock out of work and you go home, what do? Do you watch movies? Do you watch TV? Do you drink beer by the pool? I thought, well, okay, now what? Well, why don't I take some of the skills that I learned in enterprise tech, and what if I could apply those to the things that I'm personally passionate about, such as gaming, TV, movies, etc. I like puzzles and I like space. And I love podcasting. I love being on a mic. Give me a pulpit and I'll just pull my string and I'll go. I got a lot of friends that are in the entertainment industry. We've had a lot of conversations around podcasts. We've got probably 3 podcasts we're going to fire up by the end of the year. And that's kind of the genesis of it. And just being able to generally have an opinion about things. And I think that's important. Being able to be willing to be on the record having an opinion about stuff. And that's one of the things I had to overcome.
Yes, that's a really, really good point. Because when you are a social media person in enterprise tech, you can't really express your opinions the way you'd like.
Not if you're beholden to a vendor especially, or a particular thing, because you always have to have that leash on. You always have to, there's only so much you can do. The barn doors don't fly open and the bull gets to run free in the china shop, right? So I'm sure we've both gotten our wrists slapped a couple of times, but there is something extremely liberating about the position that I'm in right now. Yep. And Orbital Jigsaw is just starting. That's not to say Data Center Dude isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to come back in a whole different way. We're actually going to have to migrate that site because we eclipsed the 5-year plan starting here in a couple of months. So it was one of those moments where, wow, 5 years, holy crap, that's been around that long. Yeah. So Data Center Dude's going to stick around. We're going to do some independent kind of, thought leadership and opinions of stuff in the industry, and maybe some consulting gigs and stuff. But for right now, and probably till the end of the year at least, it's all focused on Orbital Jigsaw right now.
Okay, so if somebody wants to see what you're talking about, where do they go to? OrbitalJigsaw.com, or do you have a Facebook page, or what's going on there?
Yeah, OrbitalJigsaw.com is kind of the hub of everything. We definitely do have a Facebook page. It's at Orbital Jigsaw, same on Twitter. So that's going to be the kind of where the stream of consciousness will be, you could say. But no, the website today is currently mostly film and TV content and reviews and opinion pieces and such. And as we get this more, build this more and more, I've got some friends here that are in the industry, in the entertainment industry, that are going to come on and be kind of guest authors or co-authors of certain pieces, really diving into, maybe problems that are in the industry or why things happen the way that they did, and really give some insight into kind of Hollywood life. For example, the Warcraft movie, and the spin that I put on my review of that was, what about the perspective of a guy like me that's been playing Blizzard games for 20 years?
Yeah, so what about that?
If you're immersed in the lore of the game and you've read all the books and you've played the game for all these years, you get it. You understand why they did the things that they did, why they started at the certain point in time that they did, because there's a 6 or 7 film arc or timeline that they can go through, and they really picked the right spot there. But I mean, it all comes down to execution of when you do anything, right? And the execution was just kind of B-. It just, some of the stuff wasn't there. I mean, kudos to Lucas or ILM for the work that they did on the CGI for the orcs. It was unmatched. I've yet to see any CG that is, and mocap work that is like that. But the actors were kind of B actors, not well known. They just didn't have the chutzpah, however you say, to really just make those roles stand out when they really needed to. So I think we're going to get more of them, but I hope that they heard the feedback of the fans. And if I could say anything to these guys, it's make it for those hardcore fans, not the filthy casuals. The average moviegoer, right?
Not guys like me.
For the guys that have been along with this ride with you for 10 or 20 years, because they're the ones that are going to reap the reward from it.
Hey, so did you see Sharknado 4?
Not yet, man. It's on my list, but I love those movies. I can't wait to see Gary Busey with a big, Santa beard. I will say this, though, as kind of another plug, is Stranger Things. If you're not watching Stranger Things on Netflix, it is an absolute must. It's the new show to binge watch. If you're a kid of the 80s, you will absolutely have a blast. It is, it's Insidious meets The Goonies, meets Stand By Me, and a whole bunch of other influences mashed into one. Absolutely brilliant series. I spent the first half of my career actually, plugging cables in and making cables and racking and stacking and being as kind of an implementer consultant sort of role. And I did that for, about almost 10 years before I ever got into virtualization communities and eventually NetApp in 2010.
Hey, so Nick, this is going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to see what Orbital Jigsaw is all about, what you've got to say, what kinds of things you're going to cover. I'm sure it'll attract people that like TV shows, movies, games. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see who else gets involved. Can anybody else, how would, if somebody wants to chime in and do something with you on this, how does that happen?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're passionate about anything from comic books to WWE to video games to film and TV, music, even sports, right? I'm definitely looking for writers to write stuff, and it's certainly an open casting call in a sense. It's one of those things where I'm not going to tell you what to write. You write when you want to write, what you want to write about, and it's it'll be a submit an editorial process, right? Okay. Just something along those lines. But absolutely, if you want to write, get at me. I'm not going to beg you for content. It's one of those things where you're going to have to want to do it. I don't want to have to tell you what to write about.
That's great. I'm going to think about something to put up there. So look for something
awesome.
The next week from me, Nick.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks, man. Nick, this was great. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks a lot for having me, Mark. I appreciate it.